Shubha Sandhya, welcome back to Ranga's marriage. So that afternoon, Ranga visited the author with a few oranges, which the narrator thought that was quite thoughtful of him. Thinking of how nice Ranga is, the author thought it would be a good deed to have him married to a girl just nice as him. They chatted for a while, and then the narrator asked Ranga about his views on getting married. Ranga expresses that he does not intend on marrying now because he intends on finding the right girl. Unless until he gets a fine girl, he will not marry at all. He cites the examples of an officer who got married at the age of 30 to a woman as 25 that we were discussing in our last class. So now, since these are both adults and they would understand each other's actions and behavior. So whereas suppose the narrator finds a girl who is very young, she could misunderstand his behavior. Whereas suppose the narrator finds a girl, who is very young, she could misunderstand his words or actions because she is not mature enough. She is not mature enough. He even mentions the love story of Shakuntala and Dushyant from Mahabharata, and that he would not have fallen into love with Shakuntala if she were too young. In that case, Kalidas' play also would have not existed. That is why he intends on staying a bachelor till he finds the right girl. So this was the discussions between the narrators and Ranga that we saw in our last class. And finally, the narrator discovers one thing, that Ranga is not intended at all to marry a girl unless until he gets a right girl. So what happened? But here, after having a chat, after having a talk, then he left the narrator's house. But narrator made up his mind that he would get him married with a girl. So is there any other reasons a man should marry a girl he admires? This is what we are now moving to our next paragraph. Is there any other reason a man should marry a girl he admires? What we have now are arranged marriages. How can one admire a girl with milk stains on one side of her face and wetness on the other, or so young that she doesn't even know how to bite her fingers? One a name proves, the other a bitter gourd. Exactly, Ranga said, laughing. I was distressed that the boy who I thought would make a good husband had decided to remain a bachelor. After chatting for a little longer, Ranga left. I made up my mind right then that I would get him married. Ramarao Smith, a pretty girl of 11, had come to stay with him. She was from a big town, so she knew how to play the veena and harmonium. She also had a sweet voice. Both her parents had died and her uncle had brought her home. Ranga was just the boy for her, and she the most suitable bride for him. So what does the paragraph say? We'll see it here. Here, the narrator or the author introduces us to a new character in the story named Ratna. She is 11 years old and is Ramarao's niece. She had lost both of her parents. So, her uncle brought her from the big town to his homes with him. She had a great voice and could play harmonium and veena. The narrator thought that Ranga and Ratna would make a great pair, a beautiful pair. If they will get married each other, that would be a great pair. So this is what the thinking of the narrators, and he proceeds ahead to make plan over this. Let's come to next paragraph. Since I was frequent visitors to Ramarao's place, the girl was quite free with me. I completely forgot to mention the name Ratna. It was the very next morning I went to their house and told Ramarao's wife, I will send some buttermilks for you. Asked Ratna to fetch it. Ratna came. It was a Friday, so she was wearing a grand sari. I told her to sit in my room and requested her to sing a song. I sent her Ranga. While she was singing the song, Krishnamurti, in front of my eyes, Ranga reached the door. He stopped at threshold. He did not want the singing to stop, but was curious to see the singer. Carefully, he peeped in. The lights coming into the room was blocked. Ratna looked up and seeing a stranger there, abruptly stopped. So threshold means a strip of the wood or the stones forming the bottom of a doorway and cross in a entering house or a room, or that we can tell it also in Hindi, that is what the dwar des, threshold, dwar des. So what happened you see here, Ratna was quite familiar with the narrator, as he visited Ramarao's place frequently. The narrators thought of a plan to introduce Ratna to Ranga. He asked Rama to send Ratna to his place as he wanted to send some buttermilk for them. Okay, there was the plan. That means the Ratna will come there to his place, and at the same time Ranga will be also informed to come to their place, so that they will meet one another. So this is for the plan. Okay, she came all dressed up. The narrators insisted upon her to sing a song. So while he sent someone to call Ranga, so this is what you see. There is a plan made by the narrator. Here, Ramarao's house, girls will be there. Girl will be there. That means Ratna will be coming to his house. And at the same time, Ranga will be coming from his house. So they both will be meeting at narrator's house. And they will be looking one another. Maybe that is what a incident will be there to meet one another, and the affections will increase between the both. This is what the plan of the narrator that we see here. Just as he was singing, Ranga arrived at the door. Her melancholic voice, wonderful voice, beautiful voice, tossed his ears, and thus he did not want to interrupt the singing. So he stood at the door, that means to listen. if he enters into it, maybe her singing stopped. So he did not disturb anymore, but he stayed there for a moment to listen it. The beautiful voice of the girl. He was curious to see the singer. That means who was singing? Who is the girl? Who is the lady? Such a beautiful voice in the sky. Wanted. That means curious was. That is what wanted. We can tell it also the longing to see her. Curiosity is that increase to see her. Okay. And very curiously, he tried to have a look which disturbs the lightning in the room. On seeing a stranger, then what happened? Ratna immediately stopped her singing. Suppose, next paragraph, suppose you buy the best quality mango. You eat it slowly, savoring its peel before biting into the juicy phrase. Okay? Suppose you buy the best quality mango and you eat it slowly, savoring its peel before biting into the juicy phrase. You do not want to waste any part of it. Before you take another bite, the fruit slips out of your hand and falls to the ground. How do you feel? Ranga's face shows the same disappointment when the singing stopped. Then what happened? You sent for me. He asked as he can. You sent for me as he asked. He asked as he came in and sat on a chair. Ratna stood at a distance, her head lowered. Ranga repeatedly glanced at her. Once our eyes met and he looked very embarrassed. No one spoke for a long while. So what happened you see here? The narrator compares Ranga's situations, what had happened in that place, to the disappointments of dropping a best quality mango on the floor just before having to truly enjoy it. It was as if something great had been stolen before one could fully enjoy it. That means when he went there to listen to that song, then what happened you see? As he entered into it at that very moment, the girl stopped her song. The girl stopped singing there. So see, this is what the narrator is describing there here, comparing there here. Okay, then what happened you see here? That means, so there is what disappointment. Disappointments for the disappointment of dropping a best quality mango on the floor just before having truly enjoyed it. It was if something great had been stolen before one could fully enjoy it. That means one could fully enjoy it, it had been stolen by somebody else. Like that he is comparing the situations of Ranga.